All right, hello and welcome. So last Epoch EHG, they just dropped a pretty big, I don't know what to call it, a bombshell. It almost suggests it's negative. It's clearly not negative. But a pretty big post on us. This is at 13 minutes ago. And it's the new roadmap. It's the new last, which I didn't know we were gonna get. There's a Reddit post a few days ago where Judd mentioned something about a roadmap. That is all I have seen about this. So this is a pretty big surprise, and I haven't read it yet. I haven't seen this at all. I don't know what's in here. Like, this is my legitimate initial reaction to what we got. I really don't know what's happening here. I saw it drop. I went and shaved, and then I came back and I started recording. So you guys are going to see exactly, how I feel about it. As it happens, I'm not sponsored by EHG, nothing like that. Even if it was, they wouldn't care. They want my honest feedback anyway. But yeah, so this is just going to be, yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. I've rambled long enough. Hello, travelers. We are thrilled to give you an early look at what's coming for last Epoch over the next few cycles. Let's make that bigger. What is this? We have continuous updates coming, regular patches, community feedback, collaboration, balance improvements, dungeon improvements. Dungeon improvements is nice to see. They've talked about this. Mike has talked about this, but seeing it like in a roadmap is good. But what about, this is actually the first 4 cycles. So this is like a good bit of information here. Cycle 1.1, face terrifying new mono threats, harbingers and pinnacle boss, random encounters nemesis, and an evade dodge roll mechanic. That is the first I've heard about them adding the dodge roll evade mechanic, which I'm assuming is spacebar. That's pretty cool. I don't know about this nemesis thing either. That's new, and we knew pinnacle bosses were coming, but we don't know really anything about what that means. So maybe they'll have some more information in here, but I have a feeling we're still not quite gonna know what that means. That's okay. What about the rest of the stuff, though, because that's really all we've heard so far. We haven't heard anything beyond 1.1. 1.2, uncover the secrets of Atera's ancient past. Primal Hunt endgame events. That's interesting. Kind of reminds me of, what's that dude's name from PoE where you go and I don't know how the system's actually going to work, but it kind of, just the name of it sounds like that. The dude, you hunt monsters, you get crafting mats from that, and you do your own crafting system in PoE. We'll see what they come up with. That's pretty cool. Again, game is obviously really good. Ancient Era story chapter. People have been wanting more Ancient Era stuff for a long time because it's a really cool area and there's only like a few maps that do it. There's no actual story chapter that does it. So that's going to be really nice. It's going to add more variety. So great. And then Primordial Uniques. First I've heard of that too. Never heard anything about Primordial Uniques. These are probably, for a lot of you, will remind you of like ancestral uniques from, or legendaries or whatever they're called, from Diablo 3, and there's the ancient ones too. Sounds kind of like that. Highly doubt it's that, given that they tend to be a little bit more ambitious, but that's pretty cool. Okay, 1.3, explore lost realities preserved in time. Monolith of Fate expansion. Okay. So still more endgame stuff. Unique false echoes. What's false about them? And then new procedural side zones. That's sick. I love more Monolith of Fate expansion. It's an endgame system, I think, with an absolute ton of potential. So I'm always going to be excited to hear about that expanding. I have no idea what a unique false echo is going to be. Like, I can't even really imagine. What I would think is almost certainly not what it is, which is like, oh, you went into an echo and it's not real. Oh, it fooled you. I highly doubt it's going to be that. Very, very curious. And then new procedural side zones. This reminds me of PoE's. What are those areas called? The corrupted areas, where you have the side zone that's you go into and it's got certain modifiers on it. Again, like the other things I mentioned, who knows how they'll actually do theirs, but that's the first thing I think of with that. Then 1.4. So this is already 4 cycles through, and it looks like cycle 1.5 is on here too. I might have to open it up. Unlock your skill's true potential. Look at that visual there. You've got these question marks like going off of the fireball skill tree, and there's this like circle thing with like a shield looking thing. That looks legit. Skill sigils. Customizing skill trees, bro. Yeah, okay. New endgame bosses and a transmog and die system. Okay, I like all of that. A die, really? We're gonna a die system? Like, I'm not the biggest guy on cosmetics. I like them. That's still cool that they're gonna add. A lot of people love that stuff. Like, man, those first 4 cycles all sound like legit. I don't know what a Primal Hunt endgame event is for 1.2. I really want to know how deep that system's gonna be. I feel like the 1.3 and the 1.4 might be where this game just like kind of overdrive supercharge, like Model of Fate expansion, and then skill sigils where you can do something with your skills that adds new things to it. Like, it looks like new nodes. That sounds insane. Let's see the original image here. Can we see the original image here? Oh, are they just fooling us? They're bamboozling us, aren't they? There's not actually a 1.5. Wow. Yeah, bamboozled. Okay, so we don't get to know about 1.5 yet. All right. Touche, EHG. Still, those first 4. If you were looking for more endgame, it's Harbinger and Pinnacle bosses and random encounters. That's all endgame. I'm assuming Nemesis is our endgame. Nemesi. It seems like it's endgame. Primal Hunt endgame. Primordial uniques will affect the endgame, I'm sure. Model of Fate expansions endgame. Unique false echoes is monolith endgame. Procedural side zones, I'm sure, will be affecting an endgame. Skill sigils aren't technically endgame, but they'll affect endgame. But new endgame bosses are definitely endgame. So like that's 4 cycles with like endgame stuff, and 3 that I would say are like endgame focused. Awesome, like really awesome, exciting stuff. All right, what else are we talking about in here? As always, the team here at 11th Hour Games is dedicated to making the ARPG of our dreams. And we all know it's a process that takes time, determination, commitment. As of this writing, we have brought on excellent new people, continue looking for more, and are developing new and exciting content faster than ever. Our roadmap continues to showcase that we have long-term plans for Last Epoch's content. We're excited to showcase it here today. Here's the thing about roadmaps, though. We are striving to be one of the best and most community-centered game studios in the industry, and oftentimes the best laid plans of goals and gods need to change. While this could be for a variety of reasons, the primary one is you, the community. As each new cycle is released, we plan to collaborate with the community to let you know what's being worked on, listen to your feedback and suggestions for those plans, and continuously monitor how we can improve. Each of the items listed on the roadmap are just a few examples of key features we plan to introduce for that cycle. Do not represent the only things being worked on. So that's cool. Rest assured the team is working harder and developing faster than before, while also expanding with many new team members to bring you the game you deserve and produce a whole host of the features we have planned beyond those listed on the roadmap. As we move toward each new patch, we also plan to update our roadmap to keep you informed of our plans and any changes that may have been made based on feedback here from the community. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Plan to update the roadmap just after 1.2 and again after 1.4. So yeah, this whole updating roadmap thing is something they've done in the past, and I think it worked well for them. As long as they're doing it consistently. I don't see any problem with being like, hey guys, here's the roadmap as we expect it to be. And then, after 1.2, okay, we're making some adjustments based upon feedback and how things have went. I think that's a good approach. It keeps the community engaged and excited about what's to come, even if it's not like fully guaranteed. Like most of this stuff will probably stick. And if they make changes, it'll be stuff that the community probably wanted anyway. So I don't see much of an issue there. Pinnacle content release timing poll. All right. Lastly, development for 1.1 is coming along nicely. That's the next cycle. And we're excited to show you all of the great content, balances, bug fixes, and endgame Pinnacle boss content coming along with it. Over the last few months, the community has started discussing cycles and how content is made available to both legacy and new cycle characters. Okay, this is potentially important stuff. Our current plan for the 1.x series of patches is to bring all content to offline, cycle, and legacy realms. We also believe in allowing cycle characters a small bit of time to attempt new Pinnacle content before extremely well-geared and optimized offline and legacy characters have a chance to showcase just how fast they can conquer it. That sounds good. It sounds like exactly what I've been saying they need to do, which is the cycle needs to, like, happen first, and then not too long after, like, it doesn't have to be a full cycle through, but some period of time after, then it goes to legacy and to offline, so that characters that aren't insanely overpowered already just built can go in and destroy all the hard content that they spent all this time working on in like 10 minutes, and then it's like, well, that's it. Cool. For a refresher, existing cycle characters will be moved to Legacy at the beginning of a new cycle. Creating new cycle characters will give everyone an even playing field with an economy reset and the need to re-roll a new separate character. Cycle is also where people may compete on that cycle's leaderboards. With that said, we would love to hear from you about our currently proposed plans. Please take just a few minutes. 4 questions help us continue to grow their community. All right, so there's a poll here that you can take that I'm guessing is based upon what they're going to do with the cycle stuff. So again, I reiterate, if the poll is asking whether or not they should have a delay between when the cycle gets the hard content, or like the cycle content, the stuff like the Pinnacle bosses, like Primal Hunt endgame events, if that's supposed to be challenging content, Monolithic expansion, False Echoes, new endgame bosses, etc. If that's supposed to be challenging content that they want your character to build up to before you have access to it, I think that stuff has to have a delay on any version of the game to where characters are already pre-built and haven't spent a lot of time becoming very powerful. You're gonna ruin the first experience of all that content if you don't do it that way, because people are just gonna go and blow it up and show everybody, and that's it. So I would like them to have a small delay, like a week would be good. I think a week is probably plenty. As an example, I'm not saying a long one. Like a week is probably plenty. That would be mine. But I'll take the poll after this video. Please also take the poll. Let them know what you think. But yeah, overall, this roadmap, exciting. Like, I don't have anything here to critique. There's a bunch of stuff here that I know very little about, really nothing about. So as we get more information on it, I'll have a much more sizable opinion, I guess, much more thought out opinion. But on the face of what they're doing here, the worst I could say is Monolithic expansion a little bit sooner would have been nice. Like maybe if that was 1.2 would have been nice, but they're doing more endgame stuff in 1.2, so we're going to get Nemesis and Pinnacle bosses in 1.1, and then Primal Hunt endgame events in 1.2. That hopefully will be enough to hold us over until the Monolithic expansion. And then by 1.3, I imagine our endgame is looking pretty sweet. That's the hope. As long as this stuff is ambitious enough, which typically for EHG it is, I will trust that that is going to be continued through these patches, and I can't wait to be playing these, especially the next cycle, which we don't know the data, but it's got to be coming relatively soon. So yeah, hopefully Harbingers and Pinnacle bosses relatively soon. We'll be hearing more about that in the future, and I will definitely be making videos on that and letting you guys know. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you understand what's going on the roadmap and gets you as hyped as it gets me. I'm really stoked for everything in here. Thanks again for watching, and have a great time in Last Epoch.